2025 A-Level Combined Mathematics Paper 2 Part A question number 10. The question says the mean of 5 observations arranged in ascending order as 1, P, 4, 10 and Q is 6, where P and Q are real numbers. So basically if you take the mean by adding all of these together and you do 1 plus P plus 4 plus 10 plus Q and divide by the number of elements, which is 5, so divide by 5, you're going to get 6. It then says these observations are transformed by the transformation y equals 3x plus c, where x denotes the original observation and c is a real number. So basically we're transforming these 5 observations into a new set of 5 observations where each of them is going to be y equals 3x plus c, where x is going to be the original observation. So for example, for 1 gets mapped to y equals 3 times 1 plus c, or 3 plus c. P is going to get mapped to y equals 3 times p plus c, and so on. So considering this, it says the mean and the range of the transformed observations are going to be 20 and 33 respectively. Given this, it says find the values of P, Q and C. Now to start off this question, let's write down what we know. So we know that the mean of these observations is going to be equal to 6. So therefore we can say if the mean of 1, P, 4, 10 and Q is 6, and we can say based on what we know that 1 plus P plus 4 plus 10 plus Q divided by the total number of observations, which in this case is 5, is equal to 6. Now I could leave it at that and call this equation number 1, but we can see we can actually simplify this further. If we take the 5 to the other side, we can see we have 6 times 5, which is going to be 30, and on the left hand side we have 1 plus 4 plus 10, which is 15. So we have 15 plus P plus Q equals 30, which we can subtract from both sides 15 to get that P plus Q is equal to 15. I'm going to call that equation number 1. So from this we get that P plus Q is equal to 15, and therefore if we ever find P, we know Q, and if we find Q, we know P. Now moving on, the next bit of data that we know is that given this transformation, the mean is going to be 20 and the range is going to be 33. So given this, if we consider what's going to happen to the mean and the range, the mean of this set of observations is 6. Since each of these observations is going to be multiplied by 3 and then going to have c added to it, the mean is also going to be multiplied by 3 and is going to have c added to it. So therefore, let's say let mu x comma mu y be the means of the sets of x and y, and we will also say respectively. And given this, we know that mu y is going to be equal to 3 times mu x plus c, which if we substitute, we can see mu y is 22, so we have 20 is equal to 3 times mu x, which is 6, plus c, which we can see this is going to be 18, this is going to be 20, which we can give that c is equal to 2. So now we found c is equal to 2. Now moving on from that, if we consider the range here, the range is 33. So if the range is 33, it means that the final value minus the initial value of our transformed set of y equals 3x plus c is going to be equal to 33. So therefore, if range of y is 33, then 33 is going to be equal to the maximum value minus the minimum value, which in this case we can see the transformation is 3x plus c. So the maximum value in the original set q is going to be transformed into 3q plus c, which in this case is 2, minus the initial value, the lowest value, which in this case is 1, substitute into this thing is going to be 3 times x, so 3 times 1 plus c, which is going to be 3 plus 2. So if we subtract the 2, we can see the 2 goes out, leaving us with 33 is equal to 3q minus 3. So therefore 3q is equal to 36, leading us to q equals 12, and if q equals 12, from 1 we can see that p must be equal to 3. And therefore we've solved for p, q and c. And that's going to be the end of the question. So you can see the question is actually quite simple. However, it does not have a common structure unlike most other questions. In this case, we need to use logic and what we know in order to find what we don't know. So for this question, when you write down p plus q equals 15, or rather if you just write down this thing, it's alright, you still get the 5 marks for that. After this, when you relate mu x and mu y, and you see that mu y is going to be 3 mu x plus c, and you take this equation, substitute and simplify to c equals 2. For getting this equation, you get 5 marks, and for getting c equals 2, you get another 5 marks. Now after this, when you use the range calculation like this, to get q, you get 5 marks, and when you get p, you get another 5 marks. So overall 25 marks, 5 for this, 5 for this, 5 for getting c, 5 for getting q, and 5 for getting p. And that is going to be all for this question. So I hope you enjoyed. If you have any feedback, post them in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.